My name is Mary Mapes, and I am suing my ex-boyfriend Cale for the cost of our daughter's braces. Throughout our entire relationship, Cale was unfaithful, and he left me for another woman when I was pregnant with our second child.
Cue the defendant.
My name's Cale Weisbro, and Mary should have gotten permission from me before getting braces for our daughter. I haven't always been a perfect boyfriend, but I turned it around, and I'm a great dad to our children.
Mary Mapes is suing Cale Weisbro, her ex-boyfriend, for an unpaid orthodontist bill. Now, Mary, you say that for nearly 11 years you dated the defendant on and off, and during that time you claim that he constantly cheated on you, but you did have a child with the defendant. And, Cale, you say that you weren't the perfect boyfriend, which is, I guess, your way of admitting that you were a cheater?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Mary, tell me why you're suing him.
I met the defendant in '94, and we dated for a while, and after graduation we were going to move in together. I was going to go to college, he was going to work, but last minute he decided to stay home, and so I had to find a place on my own in a different city. A couple weeks after I moved, I came back home because I was homesick, and we started our relationship up again, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. And
how old were you at the time?
19.
Okay.
Mr. Weisbro, we had an on and off relationship. He was always cheating on me. My friends around town would see him with other girls. It was embarrassing. It's a kind of a small town, so everybody kind of knows each other.
You cheating on her?
When we initially first got together, I was pretty young and kind of wild, and our relationship wasn't as strong as I had thought it was.
But once she was pregnant, she's 19 and pregnant, you're still fooling around.
No, we had tried to stay together for a while there, but there were a lot of issues with mood swings and stuff like that. I just wasn't mentally able. Well, with the pregnancy and the age, and not there's medications that weren't taken and stuff like that.
Are you saying that women who are pregnant have mood swings that are intolerable? Is that what you're saying?
No, ma'am. I just wasn't able to physically or mentally myself. I wasn't mature enough to maybe deal with that.
God, you were mature enough to get in bed with her and get her pregnant. You should have been mature enough to deal with the mood swings, assuming there were even worse some.
Correct.
And there are hormonal changes, and you know what? Men got to learn to deal with it. All right, so you can't deal with the fact that she's pregnant. You're young. You're fooling around. Do you have the baby?
Yeah, we have a daughter. Girls would call the house and stuff, and
girls would call the house?
Yeah, and one time a girl called, and she asked for him, and I asked who she was, and she said it was none of my business, and
Jeez.
We got into an argument, and the police were called, and he was escorted off the premises.
You remember this?
No, ma'am. I don't remember the police ever coming and escorting me anywhere.
Who can forget the time the police come to the house and take you out?
I don't have any.
Does that happen so much in your life?
There's no record of that ever happening, Your Honor. That never happened.
No, that's not the question, whether there's a record. My question was, do you remember it?
No, ma'am.
His parents came over too.
My parents did come over, and I left because my parents came over, but there were no police involved.
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
From then on, we were on and off still. In '05, I gave him a second chance. He had a job for a while. We got back together. He moved into my house, and he was going out again at night, and I got pregnant again. And so now we have a son.
Well, why don't you take it slow the second time around? I mean, really. And by the way, if you couldn't deal with one, why wouldn't you use contraceptives?
Well, because we had talked about it, we decided that that's kind of why we were getting back together.
To have another child.
To have another child, yes. And if it was so bad.
Were you fooling around again?
No, ma'am. No,
why did she think you were?
Because she still hadn't let go of the past. It had been 10 years, and she still hadn't let go of the past.
When I was 3 months pregnant, I started hemorrhaging, and I tried to get a hold of him, and a couple hours later, he showed up at the hospital with another girl.
That wasn't a dating relationship, though.
What the heck are you doing with another girl? Come to the hospital, she couldn't get in touch with you. She's bleeding, and you show up with a broad? Are you out of your mind?
Her and I weren't together at that time.
Are you out of your mind?
Oh,
you may not have been together. She's pregnant with your baby that you and she made a decision to have after you were on and off for 5 years.
Yes, Your Honor. I needed a ride to the hospital, and that's who gave me a ride.
Get a cab! Oh. How did that make you feel? I'm mad. I wasn't even there.
I was very upset. But thankfully, I didn't lose the baby. We have a beautiful son. Now I have this orthodontist bill for our daughter.
You're upset?
I've never asked him to pay for anything before. I only asked him to pay on this, and...
How old is your daughter?
She's 13.
Wow. 13.
Yes.
All right. And orthodontist bill. What do you want to say, Kale? Talk to me.
Well,
Other than
actually,
her being emotional during her pregnancy, and I would have gotten off that table myself if you showed up with a broad in the hospital and I was bleeding.
I understand
You wouldn't want to
completely.
see me.
Basically, what it was as far as the dentist bill is concerned, we had talked about that. I told her I couldn't afford it at that time. I pay my child support, even though I have the children half the week, every week. I still pay my child support. She continues every year to claim taxes on them.
Think she's scamming you on the bill?
But child
Well, it's not that she's necessarily scamming me on the bill, but I haven't got copies of any of the bills. I haven't got copies of any of the payments she's made.
Open your daughter's mouth. If she's got braces in there, she went to the orthodontist.
Yes, ma'am. And my understanding is that my child support payments, medical bills come out of that, and that's what was explained to me at the front of the court that we just went to.
Okay.
No, he pays $11 a month for unpaid medical. And per the court, after...
let me see the order. What are we talking about? Let me look at that. While she's getting the order, who are you?
I'm Mary's sister, Barb, and I've witnessed most of everything. I was there when the police were called and for that incident.
Oh, you were? The one that he doesn't remember?
Right. He got physical with her.
Yeah.
The baby was in the other room sleeping. And luckily, she wasn't awoken during the whole thing.
All right. Is he a good father, by the way?
I think he loves his kids. I do. I don't think he's a good father. He doesn't do anything with them. He plays video games all day. And
he plays video games? You play video games?
Occasionally.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
You're 34. You've got 2 kids. One is 13. How old's the other one?
5.
5. What are you doing playing video games?
He doesn't have a job.
Passing the time. Read a book. Read a book to your kids.
Yes, when I'm going to college full time, I do take time out to spend time with my children.
So how do you have custody half time if you're going? Are you working also?
No, I'm unemployed at this time.
Why?
I actually go to college because I was laid off from my job.
All right. So you're laid off and now you're going to college.
Yes,
all right. And she now says that you owe for the orthodontist bills. What do you think you should pay her for the bill, Cale?
I think I should pay whatever my child support doesn't cover. I pay $690 a year in medical support.
He doesn't pay that.
I've actually got it right here, Your Honor.
All right, let's see it.
He pays $11 a month, but the judge said after $695 he can start. He doesn't pay the $695.
Comes out of my check every
He only
week.
pays $11 a month.
What check? You're not working?
My unemployment check.
All right, the issue for the court is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for an orthodontist bill that you have presented to the court in the amount of, is it $1,577?
Correct.
All right, $1,577. The court order is very clear. It says that all uninsured health care expenses exceeding the annual ordinary medical amount will be paid at 62% by Mary Jean Mapes and 38% by Cale Michael Weisbrot. But you don't have the breakdown for the dentist.
I have that here.
Oh, good. Why don't you show me that one? All righty then. Get your calculator out, Keith. All right. Keith, I want you to add up 150. 450, that's 600. Do 38% of 600. $228. 600 minus 228 is 2, is 7, is 372. What'd you get?
372.
I don't know why. All right, so I'll tell you what I'm doing, Mary. I'm adding 194 and 372, which is 566. That's what you get, given the bills. What do you want to say?
I just want to know if there was anything that could be done, because she also claims both children since they've been born in taxes. Is there a way that I can talk to somebody about possibly?
Yeah, get a job and get a lawyer. My verdict is for the plaintiff, $566. This guy's playing video games and not working, and this poor woman is doing the best she can to take care of her daughter's teeth. Shame on him.
I've been a good father to my kids, and I take care of them, and they have everything that they need.
Thanks to me, they have everything they need. And I think he's selfish.
And I think she's bitter.